Have you ever just paused and wondered if there's more to work than hitting targets and boosting the bottom line? You're not alone. So many of us are searching for a deeper meaning, a real purpose in what we do every day. Well, today, we're diving into a framework that helps connect those daily actions to that bigger why.
So, here's our game plan. First, we'll unpack what this different kind of intelligence even is. Then, we'll get practical, talking about how you can build it up, starting with yourself, and then how to bring it to your team. After that, we'll explore some really powerful, immersive experiences, and we'll wrap up by figuring out the single most important thing, your very first step.
You know, for years we've heard about IQ, how smart you are. Then came EQ, or emotional intelligence, how well you connect with others. But the thinking we're exploring today says there's a third piece of the puzzle, one that might be the most crucial for leadership today.
And this question, this is really at the heart of it all, isn't it? It's that feeling so many of us have, that nagging sense that our work should mean something, that it should contribute to something bigger than just ourselves.
And that brings us to spiritual intelligence, or SQ. Now let's get one thing straight right away. This has nothing to do with religion. It is a completely secular idea. Think of it as a framework built on universal values we can all get behind, like compassion, integrity, purpose. It's really about your ability to draw a straight line from what you do every single day to the things that you deeply, truly care about.
So how in the world do you develop SQ? Well, the good news is it's not some massive, overwhelming project. It all starts with really small, personal habits. Let's call this the crawl phase. These are simple things you can start doing right now on your own to build that inner muscle.
Okay, one of the easiest and, honestly, most powerful places to start is a gratitude practice. It's a foundational exercise that literally begins to rewire your brain to see the positive. And the best part? You don't need any special gear or training, just a few moments of your time.
And look, the point here isn't just to feel warm and fuzzy for a second. It's a mental workout to shift your focus away from your own worries and outward towards the good stuff. Whether you jot things down in a journal or just think about it on your drive home, the outcome is huge, a more resilient, positive mindset. For a leader, that's pure gold when it comes to handling pressure and seeing the bigger picture.
All right, the next practice is all about creating a little bit of space. I mean, in our world of constant pings and notifications, choosing to be still and silent, that can feel pretty radical. The goal here is so simple. Just cut out the noise so you can actually hear yourself think. This isn't some complex meditation. It's just a break from the fire hose of information. By doing this, you start to process your thoughts and emotions with so much more clarity, and that leads directly to better self-awareness and, you guessed it, way better decisions. Okay, so once you start building these personal habits, the next step is to bring this whole mindset to your team. This is the walk phase. It's where your own personal reflection starts to become shared rituals that build a stronger, more connected, and more purposeful team culture.
Let's look at a super practical example. Meetings, right? We all have them, but how many of them feel frantic and unfocused? Well, the Mindful Meeting Start is a simple little ritual designed to completely change that energy right from the top.
All you do is invite everyone to take 1 minute of silence. That's it. It's not awkward, it's powerful. That tiny pause gives everyone a chance to mentally arrive, to leave behind whatever email they were just writing. And the result? You start the meeting with a team that is actually present and focused. The return on that single minute is absolutely massive.
And you can build on that idea. Think about introducing other simple, secular rituals. A gratitude circle at the start of a weekly meeting? That builds empathy. A mission moment, where someone shares a quick story about how their work helped a real person, wow, that connects the daily grind to the company's bigger why. And High Five Fridays for shoutouts? That just builds an amazing culture of recognition. None of this is complicated stuff. It's just small, consistent habits that make your values real.
Okay, so we've crawled, we've walked, now we're ready for the run phase. These are the bigger, more immersive experiences. They're designed to really accelerate SQ development by getting leaders out of their usual environment and challenging them in totally new ways.
Here you have two incredibly powerful but very different paths. On one side, you've got something like a wilderness immersion, a silent retreat maybe. The focus there is all inward, building humility and perspective. On the other side, you have service learning projects, where the focus is all outward, working with the community to build empathy and a true sense of service. Both are designed to totally shift your perspective on what really matters.
Another really high-impact thing you can do is shadow a mentor. And we're not talking about abstract lessons here.
This is about seeing how a leader with high SQ actually lives and breathes these principles day in and day out in the real world.
Think of it as getting a living blueprint for leadership. By watching how a mentor navigates a tough conversation or makes a decision that puts values first, a developing leader starts to internalize those behaviors almost by osmosis. It's one thing to read about integrity, it's a whole other thing to see it in action.
So, we have gone from personal practices to team rituals to these deep dive experiences. But let's bring this all back down to earth. What does this mean for you, right now, today? This is the most important part, how you can actually get started.
If you take one thing away from our time together, let it be this. Developing your spiritual intelligence is not some giant, life-changing overhaul. It is not another massive thing to add to your already packed to-do list. The entire journey, from crawling to running, begins with just one single manageable step.
And so that leads me to my final question for you. Think about everything we just talked about, the gratitude journal, the minute of silence, that moment of stillness. Forget the grand plan for now. Just ask yourself this. What is the one small practice you could genuinely start tomorrow? Because that, right there, is where purposeful leadership truly begins.